Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Anita Mazziro and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Horsham, Victoria, Australia. I say Australia because there's a Horsham in England, so just so you don't get confused. Okay, I'm just going to check that I can be seen on my page, because it's the only way I can make sure I'm on the right page. I hope I'm live on the right one and can be seen. Yep, there I am, which is good. Hello, Cherry. Hello, Jacinta. How are you both? Nice little bit of sunshine today, which is lovely to have. So, we have got another Monday. Hello, Lucia. Welcome. Oops, I better turn my sound down. Forgot that. Right, there we go. Okay, Lucia, you're just driving back from the airport. I hope you had a lovely time over in Tassie. I seem to be getting my comments on my page again on my computer. Woohoo! How good is that? I think that's fabulous. You'll be happy to hear that, Lucia, that we can see it. And Sharon, it's cold where you are, Sharon. You always seem to have the opposite of what we have. Yeah, the sunshine is beautiful, isn't it? It is so lovely to have that. Yeah. I've got washing on the line. Whether it'll dry, I don't know. But anyway, we'll give it a go. So I hope everyone's having a good long weekend, which it is here in Victoria, which is great. Hubby's absolutely glued to the telly because of the football. Hello, Mandy. Welcome. So, yeah, it is good that we're here and enjoying ourselves. Yeah, Lucia. I hope it works well for you too, Lucia. It's about time Facebook got this fixed up. So it is great. So, yeah, it's wonderful to have that. I can have my computer and I can see everyone's comments for a change. It was scary last week when I was struggling to get them on all devices. So, yeah, it is so good that it's all fixed up and fingers crossed that it's sorted. So anyway, if you're watching live, you'll see the little live red button up the top on the left-hand side. So I've got a fun card to make today, which has very little stamping, but it's a lot of fun using the dies and the DSP from this beautiful suite called the Moonlit Flora. And I love it. And I have been itching to use it, and I've been a little bit hesitant, but I'm using it today. So I'm going to flip the camera down because there's a little bit I want to talk to you about, because in July we've got stuff coming up, but there's a couple of things that are happening at the moment which I think are very important. So we will just flip the camera down, so please bear with me. I hope I can do this nice and quick without it being too giddy for anyone. And zoom in, and I think that looks about right. I hope it does. So just the scenic coast. I'm going to talk about this beautiful paper. So this paper is absolutely gorgeous. So there's one of the sheets, and I don't know if you can see on camera that sheen that comes through, and that is this like a PVA coating that gives a beautiful look. So you've got one design with colour on the back, and this is a pack of 48 sheets, so you've got plenty in it. There's another one. How gorgeous is that? You've got this on the back, and then we have this one with this yellow on the back, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Then we've got this one. Again, you can see that beautiful shadowing, and it's got the blue. And then we've got, I love that fiery sunset. Again, another blue. And then this one, again, with another purple on the back. And the colours in this are balmy blue, blueberry bushel, crushed curry, gorgeous grape, Highland heather, and strawberry slush. Now, if you love these papers, it's still not too late to do the craft class. When Stamping Up do the craft class, they give us lots of hints. They also tell us about what goes on with the concept artists when they create the papers and so forth. So that is happening on the 9th of June at 6 a.m. I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. I'll watch this a bit later because there is replays to watch. Or you can just jump in when it does come on. So this is a great class to join. And, oh, my mind's gone blank on the cost. I think it's $35. Please, someone correct me if I'm wrong. So this is great. If you've got the set, you can join in straight away. If not, you can watch and then catch up and make this later on. It is amazing to do these little craft classes that Stamping Up do for us. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a go. I will tell you all about it after the 19th, and you can have a look at it because I like to get ideas and learn from what they do and what they teach us. So it's a great thing, that one. So I'm a bit late getting to it because I nearly missed it myself. I forgot about it. So that's why I'm a bit late. So I apologise to anyone. So if anyone is watching and has put their hand up to do this class, please let me know because I like to see what they do. Right, then we've got our new product of the month, and I think this one is going to fly off the shelves. It's this beautiful, beautiful little wild bunch. Absolutely gorgeous. I have 653. Thank you very much, Lucia, for that. I had the right figures, but just back the front. So this little set, if you're putting an order in and your order gets to $125, you'll see above the order where you place your item codes, you will see a bar that moves across, and if you've hit $125, the Shop Now button comes up, and you can, yes, Cherry, I've had my nails done. How do you like them? You'll be doing the class too, Lucia? Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, so this set is absolutely gorgeous, and I believe it will sell out very quickly. So, and it will only be while stocks last. I have a sister-in-law that loves Highland cows, so I can see myself doing something with all these, and I'm itching for it to arrive. I'm hoping it'll come soon. I do know someone that's already got it. Not fair. So, yeah, it's something I'm dying to play with. So we may work with this next month, depending on when my order arrives. It's taking a little scenic route at the moment. Okay. So as I said, I'm going to work with the Fern and Flora Suite. And I've put the word suite because I'll be using some of the stamps, some of the paper, the embossing folder, and the gems. So, yeah, I'm using the suite. But I may not, like as I said, I'm not going to do a lot of stamping because there's a lot of things you can do with the dies. And I just love all the different designs that you can do in the dies. And they make so much fun. So I'll just get the papers. I'll move that out of the way. So first of all, I'll show you the stamp set and the dies. I must put some labels up here because it's so hard to read with just this stamp, cut and emboss. So I like this beautiful, absolutely beautiful. How good is this for a background stamp? Just this random little marks that you can do. The sentiments are beautiful. Thankful for you. You're an amazing friend. You make the world a better place, and sincere thanks. And you can cut them up. You can stamp them and cut them up. I'll show you a card later that I did where I cut this up and just put thank you. Hello, Kerry, welcome. And these are the dies. Now I'm going to pull them out and show you the dies. So this is what I wanted to show you, these two dies in particular. So I'm going to hold that up. This particular die is for your flowers. So you'll see there's two large, two funny looking ones, which is a half flower, and two small ones. So they will make 3 flowers in one pass. But then you've got this little one, and these are the centres of your flowers. So they're small, so you want to be careful that you don't lose it. You like the font at the centre? Yeah, I do too, Lucia. I think that those sort of fonts, especially mixed fonts, make a gorgeous one. There's our beautiful label. And then as you can see, you've got the ferns. These are all standalone, these ferns here. You've got a smaller leafy, well, I'll just call it a leafy thing. You've got 2 butterflies that you can stamp out. You've got a fern you can stamp out. And you've got, I've got to look at the big fern here. You've got this fern here that you stamp out. And then the 2 lots of flowers that you can stamp out. So there's a lot in this little set. And I'm going to try Midnight Look. So it's something I want to play with. So, but I didn't get time to play with one today. Hello, Leslie, welcome. So that's the stamp and dies. And remember, when you purchase these, you get the 2 for 10% less than buying them individually. So the papers are beautiful. You can see I have used most of this one. It's got beautiful flora design. The golden glow really jumps off the page. You've got Old Olive, you've got some Secret Sea, you've got Mossy Meadow, Soft Sea Foam, absolutely gorgeous colours in that pack. And then on the back, you've got this beautiful just background paper. So how really nice. I love this piece. I've chopped up the moth, but I'd like to use the moth on its own. I haven't done it. See, you've got the butterflies that you could fussy cut. This would also make a great scrapbook page because of to me, I probably wouldn't do a lot more to it than just put my photos in around. So that's, and then on the back of that is this beautiful soft sea foam, little ferns all over it. Then you've got this one, which is a small version, but the flowers have got the berry burst in it, which gives it a completely different colour. So really, really nice. And I love, this reminds me of the silver ferns in New Zealand, because I know when we did a trip to New Zealand, we spotted some on one of our tours, and they are very different to the ferns we have in Australia. So they're absolutely beautiful. You've got the Old Olive here on the back. Another one that's a very leafy background. And then on this side, you've got the Golden Glow. So this is a much plainer one. It's good to have that in here. Here's another one with the ferns and then a little bit of flowers in between. Just gorgeous. And then you've got the Secret Sea. And the Secret Sea is in the background of these pages. And then you've got this one, which is larger in the flowers or butterflies. You can really pick up the, bring that up a little bit closer for you to see, but you can really pick up the berry burst in there. And yeah, they're just beautiful, beautiful flowers. And then you've got berry burst on this side. So absolutely beautiful papers. I do, not sure, but I did hear this was sold out. So I'm hoping it's back in, and I forgot to check before I came on, so I apologise for that. Righto. So as I said, I spoke about the flowers. So because I placed them very carefully on my silicone mat, because my order has got my adhesive sheets. Hello, Fiona, welcome. And because my adhesive sheets, but for this particular design, I would not use adhesive sheets, and I would not use them for this because of the way we're going to work with it. So I want to show you how the flowers are put together. I don't know if I've put this small one correct because I haven't seen how it's done, but this is the way I do it. So I'm just going to put a small, very small dot of glue just on there. I think I've done that another way. Anyway, we'll pop that in there. And then I'm going to grab my putty end of my take your pick tool. I'm just going to pick that up and pop that, just cross it like a cross, pop that on. I'll do this first because I want it to settle and dry. And this one, I don't know if this is meant to be over or under. It's one of those tricky ones that I'm not sure. So before I put the middle on, I'm going to get, it's low inventory, thank you, Lucia. Cherry says it's back in stock. The chair says it's low inventory. Wouldn't surprise me if it came back in and it was out very quickly because it's so popular. So I've got my Barely Blush Shimmer pen. I love these shimmer pens. Anyone that knows me knows I like glitter. So I'm just going to put a little bit of colour, and I find it easier to do before I put the centre on. Just putting a bit of colour. This one's moved a little bit, making sure it's right. So just popping a little bit of colour in here. And by doing these now, I'm not going to lose all these little pieces. So by doing these first, they're done. So I'm going to now put just a little bit of glue onto my silicone sheet. Take my putty end, just carefully put a little bit of glue and then pop it into the middle. Make sure that they're the right way, not upside down. Just dip it carefully in there. If you've got too much, just slide it down your silicone mat so that you can take off any excess. And then I'll just take that and pop that in. Oops. My card today came from one of there's card sketches from the Stamping Lounge, but I variated from it, so it's not exactly the same. So I'm going to let them dry. This keeps moving on me, so I don't know why. Anyway, that flower is going to be a little bit different. I have already prepared some in advance. So I'm just going to let them dry and I'll keep them out of the way. Now we'll go with the card. So I've got a piece of basic white, 21 centimetres by 14.9, and I have scored that at 10.5. And did a bit of change around. So because I've done a bit of a change around, I've moved some things and now I've got to stop and think where they are because they're not where I normally keep them. Do you ever find that when you're doing clean up and think, oh, yeah, that might look better over there? Or anyway, that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I've gone and got a piece of white, 10 centimetres by 14.4, and I've taken this beautiful embossing folder, the Fern and Flora, and look at the beautiful pattern that's on it. Absolutely gorgeous. even that makes a statement on its own. All right, Lucia, I'll catch you later. So there is that. And as I said, this folder is, I think, stunning. We've got a couple of folders that came out with this catalogue that is absolutely gorgeous. So I'll work with this for a moment. So it's absolutely good. One thing I will warn you, if you've got your piece of paper, cut it your normal quarter of your A4 paper, then run it through the embossing machine and then cut it to your size, because it shrinks and you lose a little bit. You lose about a good mil off the paper. So I cut it larger and then chopped it down so that it was the size I needed, so that I could get a nice even border. Otherwise, I found one side was just a bit too small, so please be aware of that. I've then got a piece of this beautiful paper that's got the berry burst, and this is a 10 by 10 centimetre square. So it's a bit hard to work out which is the right way with this one. So I'm going to take the silver ferns as the right way. So that's going to sit about there. But I've got 2 pieces of berry burst. Make sure it all comes out. That's one. Yep, they're both there. I thought I'd lost one. And these are 0.5 centimetre each. And they're going to go one at the top and one at the bottom. So I'll just pop a little bit of glue. And I find that the glue on this rather than this, because this way I can then see where I'm putting it. So I'm lining it up with this and then working out my measurement on my piece. These are only scraps that I've used, so like if you've got scraps like this, don't ever throw them away, because you can use them. Just put a bit across there. Once again, I'll pop this using my grid sheet on my glass mat. And then place that so that it's just even. Oops, come on back here. Just even on both sides. So I've got a nice even piece, top and bottom. I will just trim them up, because it's, as I said, it was only a scrap. I knew it was going to fit, so I'm just going to. So I'm going to pop that on top there in the middle, which is sad to cover some of the embossing folder, but it's just the way it works. So I'm going to use dimensionals. So I'll grab my dimensionals. Now, because we're putting this on top of an embossed piece, I like to do this anyway, and that's to put glue onto my dimensionals, because by doing that, I've got wiggle room. And dimensionals and embossing, ribbon, any of those things can sometimes just not work. And the last thing we want is something popping off our page before the recipient gets it. So I'm just going to pop some colour on there. not colour. I said colour, didn't I? I have no idea what I said, why I said colour. I'm talking glue. Doesn't even start with the same letter. Okay, so I'm lining this up. Always use your grid paper to see where you're going to go. Sort of roughly work it out. I'm going to pop that in place. Nicely on there. How pretty is that paper? Looks stunning. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back here. So pop some dimensionals. And again, we'll pop some glue. To use this. So how many of you have got this suite? Or got any of it, even if it's just the paper? So I often find just even using the paper can make a big difference. You don't have to always use the stamps. Again, just smother the sticky part with glue. And this also means, this is another way of, yes, you've got wiggle room, but it also means that this will allow reassurance that this is going to stick. I'm going to get that, pop that in there, and voila, there we go. So, done a lot of die cutting for various pieces. I want to colour this little butterfly. And I'm going to use no, not the crisp candlelight. Why did I go for that? Golden glow. So this, just to give this butterfly a little bit of colour. So I'm just going to spread some colour. Now remember, if you've got the shimmer pens, you only push here when you need to refill. The rest of the time, keep your fingers down here. If you're pushing the whole time, you could end up with a blob. So just be very careful of that. I'm just putting some colour, just lightly. It can look like a tiger moth. Let's put some in around here. I think it's a tiger moth that I'm looking at. And then I'll just colour his body. So he's just... So there he is there. Just a little bit of glitter in there to make him stand out. Right. Put him to one side. So what I want to do now is I'm going to take so I've cut out a fern in soft sea foam. I've then cut out another leafy one in berry burst and another leafy one in white. I'm just going to pop them. I might go, yeah, that's better because one goes one way, one goes the other way. And then I'm going to, this one's for the inside. I've done one in Mossy Meadow. And then I'm going to have this coil fern in here. So I'm trying to have all the stems like so. Could. I will. Then I'll turn them out, not in. Actually, I might change them. I might put them in because the other one, they're facing outward. So I'm going to just do it a little bit different to my sample. So I'm going to pop them like so with the coil down the middle. As I said, I started off with one of the sketches from, hello Glenda, how are you? You have the bundle, Jackie. Hello, Glenda. You've been FaceTiming your granddaughter. What a lovely thing to do. That reminds me, I need to make a call to my granddaughter after this. The embossing folder, you haven't, but you might invest. The embossing folder, Mandy, you'll fall in love with it. You have the DSP Jacinta. Yeah, it's just lovely. A couple of spare butterflies. Okay. Now, I didn't use, because as I said, my adhesive sheets, they're coming. I'm going to just take this and I'm just going to put glue, just tiny amounts of glue up the top. And because it's so fine, I don't want it oozing through because there are slits. So I'll just put the glue on all of these pieces. I'll go down to about here, so leaving some blank so that it can create a nice look. It's nice to have it a bit free at the thing. So just put a bit of glue on these. And always remember, if you put some glue and you're a bit worried about it oozing, just put it aside for a few minutes so it gets a bit tacky, and then it just acts like a glue dot. If you want to, you could put glue dots on the back, a little bit far there, and then just, again, do the same here. Just a bit of glue, not all the way. And then the coil's quite an interesting one. So pop a bit of glue, just coming on the way down. That's about where I'll leave it. Okay. Move these pieces. So pop that there. And I've got a pair of tweezers. I'm going to pick them up with tweezers. Carefully, it doesn't want to hold. That'd be right. I'm going to carefully place this in the middle, just coming down, just like so. Just create that look. And the white one. And to make this one come in a little bit different to what I did before. So this one's going to come in like so, just to create the flower. And as you can see, this one curves in this way and this other one will curve in the other way. So you can reverse them if you wish. Yeah, I'm sure that they're on the road to China or something. I don't know where my parcel's going walkabout, as I was talking to Lucia about. It's just gone for a wander. So hopefully they come. Right, because I miss them. I don't know about anybody else. And if you wanted to, this could be, you could use adhesive sheets because I did put all these flat. So as you can see how I've placed them on here. Just pop them there to create the look. So as you can see, that can go that way. If you want to, you can turn it the opposite way. This one can go this way. So it becomes what you want to do. You've got your shopping done. Oh, that's good. You were quick. You obviously knew exactly what you wanted, Lucia. And you have to get the embossing folder. Yeah, look, you won't regret it. Okay, I've got all my flowers and these flowers will be dry. So I'm going to now just flip them over and I'm going to pop. I've been looking for a pair of reversible tweezers, apart from the one that we've got with Stampin' Up, but I just find it too bulky at the nibs. But these were the only ones I could find, but they're useless. They won't hold. As soon as I try to pick something up, they just seem to drop. And it's happened with everything I've tried. So I did ask them at Spotlight if they had them, and the girl looked at me funny and she said, oh, you'll have to go to a stationery shop. They're not something we have. And I have been dressmaking and I have used them for dressmaking, so I don't know where she thinks they are a stationery item. So one day I'll find them in the right place. So we'll pop just a mini dimensional on the back of these flowers. And by allowing the glue to dry on the flowers, I've also allowed the shimmer pen to dry because it's wet, like our Wink of Stella. And if you try to put a dimensional or anything on top of that, you will find that they will just lift off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take one flower at a time and basically just pop them. You're just going to go on willy-nilly. It's like that they're streaming down the ferns. That's a right word I can use. So I'll pop that one there. Aren't they beautiful, these little flowers? I think they are anyway. Just pop one down here. I think I have somehow spread one somewhere because that little half one, I know I had two sitting here. And, yep, it will, oh, there it is. It landed on my sheet. Get rid of that. Pop another little one. I'll pop that one in there. And just cascading was the word I was looking for. How silly, I couldn't get that out before. And I'll just pop one because I want that coil to really show, so I might put that up there. But just popping some flowers to create the look. Now this is retired ribbon, I think. Craft Online for choices. Thank you, Lucia. I just ordered stuff from Craft Online. I'll have to do it again. Yeah, well, this is where I got mine from, but yeah, they're not holding, like, they're really very flimsy. So I'll keep looking. At least I know Craft Online. Yeah. So I've got this berry burst in silver. I was having a bit of a clean up on my ribbons and I found this. It's definitely a berry burst. I cannot remember if it's Stampin' Up or something else that I've used it for. But it will work for the card. And don't we all do that? Just get some from wherever we can. All right. Just going to get this, tighten it up, bring this. As I said, this started out as a sketch from the Stamping Lounge card sketches. And if anyone's got them, see if you can guess which particular one I started out with. You got yours from Spotlight. Yeah, well, I've had a look at, like, I must admit, Spotlight here's gone backwards to what it used to be. And, yeah, and the girl in Spotlight told me to go to the stationery store because they don't sell them. So, bit silly, I thought. Right, so I'm going to put a bow up there. So this is, I'll shorten that in a minute, but that was why I wanted them all to look like they were just flowing down and around. So I'll get a glue dot. Make sure I've got one here. And we're going to put that on the back of the ribbon. I think, to be honest, the girl may not have even known what reverse tweezers were. Right, and I'll just trim. Trim that off. I want them to be a little bit long, so I don't mind that. There we go. Look at that. I think that is gorgeous. And, of course, last but not least, our beautiful little butterfly. So I'm just going to curl his wings, bend the body in, and he's going to, again, just have a dimensional on the back. Just a little dimensional, holding him in place. Because we all know how sticky they can be. And I'm just going to have him up there, flying down, looking down on it. Look at that. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I need to get my mat, and I've got a piece of Secret Sea. And I've used Secret Sea because I like the background of this. So going to get, I'm still using my dear little Annie. She's hanging in there, but that's okay. I'm going to use it. So go and get my hello, Wendy. Thank you. I'm going to use Thankful for You. It is a lovely saying, that one, because I think you could use that just about on anything. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I often put my sentiments on a diagonal. I find I can get it straighter doing that. So my Versamark. And I'm going to stamp that. Just let it sit there, not press on it. Just let it sit for a second so the paper absorbs it. And we'll pop our Wow embossing powder on it. I've got to get some more. This is getting very low. It's funny, you just don't realise how much you use things. Hello, Leanne, welcome. I hope I didn't miss you before. Right, grab my, just put that out of the way for a bit. And we'll just bring that through. I love the fact that this particular font is not a thick font. It's quite a fine little font, and I think it makes it a beautiful one to choose from. Just pop that there for later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut around it. Because here it's pretty straightforward, I can just come along and then just do the little dip for the, it's there, and then come back up here. So the bottom's pretty straightforward. And then come round. I don't know, I was watching something the other day and I saw someone fussy cutting, and the speed, it wasn't a Stampin' Up demonstrator. I no idea where I came across it. You know how sometimes you just scroll things and see? Oh my God, the speed. But the whole time it was all about the movement of the paper. Okay, let's get this. I'll come round. Pop that. can come down, come up, and we go. There we go. So thankful for you. So I'm going to get my black mini dimensionals. How many of you know that it's your first time? Sorry. At least I've caught you anyway. That we have our black ones. These are great for dark projects. So that if you've got something dark, you're not having to see. You can use the white. There's nothing wrong, because before they had black, that was all we ever used was white. But now that they've made the black ones, I find them very handy to have in my kit to use. So, Sharon, I put a lot of dimensionals on. So take the backs off. I wish they'd put a different colour on the back of the whites, because it's so easy to see how quick they came off. Take that, move that out of the way, and I'm just going to sit this down here, just over there, just like that. Thankful for you. Isn't that a lovely saying? These are the gems that come with the Moonlit Flora, and these are really pretty. You've got clear, Old Olive, and Secret Sea. So I'm debating which. I might go the Secret Sea. I've used Old Olive on the other one, so I'm going to pop a few of these. I think about 5 will do for this one, only because put a few together. Put that over here, and then just one more down here. Look at the colour. I actually don't mind the Secret Sea with that. What do you think? Thank you, Glenda. Now, I can't do a card without some Wink of Stella. Just make sure I've got it going. Yep. And just give it a good splatter. Over the card. Get plenty of it, because, yeah, girls got to have some sparkle, don't we? So I don't know if you can see the sparkle on there, which is the sad part about the TV, but anyway. Right, for the inside, I've got this little piece. So I'm just going to work out whether I want the full piece. I might this time, on the other one I've got the full piece. I'm going to put a smaller amount. So I'm just going to get my mat and just put a bit of glue in the top half to hold it in place. Just a tiny bit of glue. I think that's probably about enough for what I want. There we go. Now I'm just going to pop that down there. And then I'm just going to trim off the excess. When you're trimming off, always go from the reverse side, because it gives you a good even line to follow. That's that. And I'll pop a little bit of Wink inside here as well. Why not? Because I can, hey? Thank you, ladies. Just a little bit of Wink. Oops. Just ran on me. Oh, I don't know why that happened. Look at that. I got a whopping big blob. That's all right. I might just, at least I got the colour on there, but I might just, later on when it dries, I will pop a flower in there just to make it a little bit better. But I don't know why that went like that. Look at that. big blob, but I think if I put a bit of a flower in there, that'll just hide it. Just imagine that's a flower, and I've popped a bit over the top. It will help hide it. So I'll do that when it dries because it's going to take a bit of time to dry. So there is the card. So this one I've done them all coming in, and this is the one I did before. Just a bit different. I realised that didn't work up here. I didn't put as many flowers. I actually like it better with more flowers. I just put a bit of twine and some linen ribbon, and these flowers go outwards. So you can see the difference. And I've got the old olive gems on this one. Just changed it around a little bit. And I've got Secret Sea up the top and the bottom. And I've just put a flower in there and I sprinkled some gold. I've got some gold ink that I sprinkled on there. So there we go. Quick and simple. It's not a hard card to make. The papers speak for themselves, I think. So you can do so much with it. So, yeah, I'm glad you like it. Sketches help. They really helped me to make a design. I had no idea what I was going to do. And the Secret Sea picks up the silver fern, which is lovely. So I want to thank everyone for giving some time today to watch me because I do appreciate that. So enjoy the rest of your day and keep warm. So I'll see everyone next Monday, same time, same place. I'll catch you all then. Bye, everyone.